different types of assets, but really, fungible tokens or non-fungible tokens are the two standards. Fungible token examples are Bitcoin, Ethereum, Polygon, Matic, the currency aspect, Phantom. But non-fungible, they're all unique. Not necessarily one of one, but they're one of a unique set of assets. Whether it's a piece of artwork or it's a collection of 10,000 Bored Apes. Each ape in that collection is unique, which makes them an NFT. And the NFT market is, taking off. It took off in 2021 with artists like Beeple, with the NBA coming out with their NFT digital collectible collection, and it's only expanding there. In 2021, this was a market that was $3 billion and expected to grow to over $250 billion by the end of this decade. And our panels today are representing different verticals of industry that are utilizing NFTs as pioneers. And I'd like them to talk a little bit about themselves as the introduction, and I'll start first with Diona.
Thank you. Hi everybody, my name is Diona Bailey. I have been in crypto for about 7 years now, which, in dog years, that's probably 49, that's what it feels like. I've done everything from payments to organic chains, to space NFTs, and my specialty is unique use cases for NFTs, and I like to dabble and get you guys to think something outside of JPEGs and, I don't want to call anybody out, but some real good use cases that are going to be coming in our future.
We also have Paula.
Hi everyone, my name is Paula Reyna. I'm the founder and CEO of Audio Chain. I've been around the blockchain space for 11 years, and what we do at Audio Chain is we do music sync, licensing, and sample clearance with music rights NFTs. I also come from the music industry. I've been in it for 24 years. I started at Def Jam and Interscope Records and joined the blockchain space.
Great. Hi, everyone. My name is Lynn. I'm the co-founder of SaaS Consumer Web3 technology company for iconic artists and brands. On the technology side, we try to make things accessible and easy for even somebody non-technical experts like my mom. And we do this in partnership with some of the world's biggest artists, from Doja Cat to Biggie Smalls, athletes such as Wayne Gretzky and Muhammad Ali, and brands, everybody from Pepsi, American Express, Warner Music Group. We working with both enterprises and creators to push the space forward.
Hello, my name is Scott Hendry. I'm the CEO and founder of Carnomaly. Been about 4 years in the crypto digital space. Spent 18 years in the automotive industry, and what Carnomaly is, we are a solution that is using Web3, NFTs, and blockchain to change the way you buy, sell, finance vehicles. Basically, think of us as Carfax, Auto Trader, Car Guru, all wrapped into one.
Awesome. Space, music, brand, lifestyle, and automotive industry, you guys all come from very unique sectors. So my next question is, when you're talking to your specific target audience, whether it's from the automotive industry, how do you demystify NFTs? How do you give them that aha moment? And Scott, let's start with you.
So when you're talking, just speaking to somebody that doesn't know what an NFT is, or many people from the car space, that what's an NFT, and you're telling them what's a non-fungible token. Well, how does that relate to the automotive industry? Well, one thing that we all have seen, we've all been frustrated with, is vehicle titling. So you buy a car, you finance it, the bank holds your title. If that bank gets bought out, if that loan gets bought out, that title might go to another bank. Or if you refinance it, it has to go to another bank. So this physical paper title is having to go all over the place, and sometimes it gets lost, or it doesn't make it to the right place. And you really don't have any, per se, ownership until that vehicle's paid off. So one of the ways I've been explaining to people is we want to create fractionalized NFTs where the bank has a fraction of that NFT title, the consumer has a fraction of that NFT title. Without both fractions, based on a smart contract, you don't have the full ownership. So once you've made your payments and you fraction will be released through the smart contract, now you have the full use of the NFT to be able to transfer itself to an individual. What if you don't make your payments and the bank needs to repo it? Now the smart contract could be basically executed so the bank can get that portion back from you, get that fraction back. So it also will help on the banking side or on a DeFi lending, really is a better way for that use case. So you get a DeFi loan pool of loans, that fraction could go back in to that DeFi loan pool. Now they have ownership back of that vehicle. So they're not losing the asset, and they could liquidate the asset and regain the funds.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think more and more in 2023, I think our goal is trying to push the NFT technology forward without using the acronym NFT. It's just really like a terrible name to start with. We talk to kind of traditional brands really about problem solving, right? Like what is the critical business need that this technology, NFT as a technology or Web3 as technology as a whole can solve. So it's less about, I think 2022 was about a lot of kind of PR driven drops that is really for marketing purposes to show that the brand is like cool, hip, but like, now the conversation really is about like, hey, if you are a music artist, what is the problem you're trying to solve? Is like a deeper engagement relationship with your audience and more streams, right? Like those are the things you care about. Or more control over your kind of merchandise revenue or streaming revenue. So if you are a brand like American Express, like what is the pain point you try to solve, right? Like how do you participate in digital asset purchases, and how do you really increase occasion to surprise and delight your consumers, because they're known for rewards and loyalty. So I think we basically saw two great use cases last year for NFTs. One is high-end digital art, and one is my Twitter profile picture. Like one of those use cases may not really come back ever again. But there are probably 998 other really incredible use cases we're just about to uncover, and that's how we're trying to talk to our clients in a way where we talk about NFT without even using the word NFTs.
For us, AudioChain is pretty much more B2B as opposed to B2C. So we're the creators that are going to be using AudioChain are pretty much doing sync licensing and sampling. Going to the music supervisors and the companies as well, and making sure that the creators understand, NFTs like you're saying. So some of the things that we're doing to kind of onboard them and kind of, take the tech out of it. We are doing a lot of different workshops for the music community. We're doing in different cities throughout the country. And it's going to be free for everyone in the creator spectrum, and that's what we're going to be onboarding them, because the tech itself is really tough for someone to just kind of learn if you are not into it already, and that's kind of what we want to do. We want to onboard them with information of the traditional system, and also the way that we're going to bring in music sync licensing and sample clearance as well to this new space that we are into right now.
Okay, so aha moment. I was on a flight here with this old guy. And I'm not old for anybody who thought that. And we were talking and he's like, oh God, Bitcoin, oh God, like these people think they can just put a picture on something and sell it and my kid's into it. And I had to stop him for a second and say, but I want you to really think about that. Like your child is into emerging technology, right? I mean, NFTs could essentially be the Lincoln Logs of this generation. And so you entice them by a picture, you teach them about a wallet, you teach them about key phrases, you teach them how to download it, you teach them about market research, and now all of a sudden you've empowered a whole generation behind us to understand and embrace this technology. And it's unfortunate that some of the older people can't get past their way of thinking, that they think this is just a fad without truly understanding the implications and the capabilities. But this next generation is grabbing it, and it's going to be excited to see where it goes.
That's a really good point. No, I think the best thing about NFTs are that it's like first people's interaction with the blockchain, this decentralized technology. So really lets them get into that whole rabbit hole of what this is all about. But let's take it to the next question. Like, you guys pinpoint, either an individual or a project or a brand that you think is taking this technology and really innovating in the right way. Whether that's bringing them down the innovation rabbit hole through through a decentralized method, or just really doing something to really engage their community. I think we just saw Porsche come out with their first NFT drop this week, and I've seen a lot of criticism. I've had a lot of time to research. It doesn't look like they minted out. Remains to be seen, if that is a project that's successful. But it just goes to show that some brands, really know how to talk to the Web3 community, because at this point, it's really the community that are buying these NFTs, or they're really just missing the mark. But are there any projects, brands, individuals that you guys really admire the way that they're going about this?
For me, one that I'm really bullish on is it's NFT. I don't know if you guys have heard about it, but it's dance emote NFTs. It was created by Snap Boogie, a really famous dancer, and he was the first one who did a dance emote NFT, and Solana, I believe, bought it. He's going to be launching his platform. I think is really good because he's given the dancers the power back, with making sure that they are, being able to do to create an economy for themselves. I know that at one point Fortnite wasn't paying the dancers, so the CEO of this company wanted to create something for the dancers to have some kind of economy coming to them, as opposed to the bigger brands kind of using their their dance moves and not getting their due pay, so to speak. So I'm really bullish about it.
Yeah, there's a lot of different criticism around the Porsche project. I think one of the things they could have done better that's in their control is potentially took a longer time to really build a community, right? So it was kind of from announcement at last year at our Basel to kind of drop. It was like a month, right? Less than a month. One project that I'm very much looking forward to is the Starbucks the Starbucks Odyssey project, right? So I think what that is about is really integrating NFT in a way that into Starbucks rewards program that allow people to actually have the ability to trade the benefits that they receive. It's really genius, and it's basically being presented to the consumer in a way where they don't even know it's NFTs they're working with. And the potential of, Starbucks is one of the most successful rewards programs, about 50 plus million users. If that is a program that actually, pushed my mom into the space in a very fun, easy way, where she doesn't have to triple mortgage her house to get into, that's going to usher in a whole wave of people into the space, and they are taking their time, right? So it's kind of in beta right now. The project was announced very early last year. So also that does raise expectations, but I think they're doing it the right way.
So the state of California actually announced that they're going to be using Tezos and NFTs to start allowing titling of NFT vehicles in California. And this is great for our project because this is something we can build upon with the fractionalized NFTs and bringing that digital title to life. So that's just coming out in California, and I think that's the beginning of how it's going to start pushing through the automotive industry, and then going worldwide from that.
I'm really bullish on the abilities for NFTs to really grab artist rights, right? And say that we're gonna tokenize this and we're gonna pay the artists the way they need to be. How many of you guys here have used text to image generation AI? Anybody? Yeah, you like it? Yeah? All right. Everybody sleeping on me? It's after lunch. So my company, I'm the business development lead for Blockade Games that just merged with 330 AI, and we do text to image AI. And there's a big issue right now with, does it rip off artists, right? Is AI going to replace the artist, and is the artist all of a sudden gonna get pushed out? That's not personally what I believe, but what I'm very bullish is that we are going to release a marketplace that actually allows tokenize the words and the artists so that we can distribute royalties. So when anything is created via AI, the original credit goes to the artist and the artist gets paid from it. And without this type of technology, you can't do things like that. And that's what makes it so empowering.
I haven't heard that use case yet. Tokenizing the prompts.
Yeah.
That's going to be a huge use case in the next couple of years. And it's a good transition because I wanted to talk about tech a little bit more specifically blockchain technologies, because a lot of the platforms that these NFTs are built on, all of these blockchains want you to build on their chain. Some marketplaces choose to build on one chain, some a couple, some trying to be across all chains. Some choose, to build publicly on permissionless databases, and some launch with blockchain like Hyperledger from IBM, which is, maybe faster and cheaper, but it's a permission centralized database. So, maybe talk about what your company is building on, but also how you decide to choose which blockchain partner you'd like to work with, whether it's, the team that's interacting with you and they're giving iterative feedback, whether it's really the technology, is it the scalability, is it the security, is it the brand name, or maybe it is permission because that's the best use case for your customers right now. Can you guys each just talk about that?
Yeah, so, again, with AI and art, it's the onboarding is huge. So first off, if it's more than 3 steps, you've already lost the customer, forget it. It's not gonna be any good for your business. So if it's too complicated, don't consider it. If the fees are too high, don't consider it, right? Obviously ETH is the leader in the industry, but we also saw a huge issue and a push to Polygon last year over fees alone. So being able to have ease of use to get somebody on, keep it as simple as you possibly can. And I love our system. You swipe a credit card, you hit a button, and you can mint any AI you just created. And when you keep it that simple, then you keep the interest and people will keep coming back. You don't lose them in the mess.
We are using Polygon and on Arbitron as well. Because we're music-based, we wanted to make sure that the TPS was on point. Because of the constant transactions with music streaming and sync licensing and what have you. So that's kind of was our take when it came to picking which sidechain or blockchain to use. And it's working out right now as we are in beta. And as far as everything else, we wanted to also first and foremost make sure that the gas fees are users. That's very important. We did start with Ethereum in the very beginning back in 2016, but we moved on from that.
Yeah, we have a very multi-chain point of view. So we support, OneUp.com, our consumer marketplace, launched supporting Tezos first, great chain, and then we added Polygon support, and we have ETH2 support now. And for a lot of the corporate work we do, a lot of times Hyperledger is used as a permission blockchain. So, transaction is just gonna flow to where there is the least friction and lowest cost, right? So kind of the future is probably more cross-chain interoperability versus just picking, you had to stick with one chain. It's kind of silly that, we don't have 17 different versions of the internet competing, right? So and it's much more efficient to, if everything all the networks talk to each other, like AT&T's backbone talks to Verizon's backbone. So, and that is kind of the direction I think we're going, so.
Yeah, and to build off what they've said is it's got to be simple for the user, the interface, the use. When you tell somebody that doesn't know what an NFT is, that they have a vehicle title that's on an NFT, and you tell them they're going to need gas to transfer their title, they're going to go fill up their tank at 7-Eleven. That's not going to help them transfer the NFT title. So they need to be able to do it simple. It needs to be simplistic, and it needs to be cross-chain. Whether it's the NFTs being held on ours is currently on Polygon, and it sounds like that's kind of the main one that everyone's using right now. But if it's on the state of California is using Tezos, so how's the interaction with Polygon and Tezos? How do we make that simple? How is the user able to go onto the app or go on to the website or the platform and make this a very simple process? I think that's how mass adoption will be gained, and people don't even know that they're using an NFT title. It's just seamless, and the process is easy.
So ease of use. I'll tell you, here at BitBasel, we do one-of-one art pieces, and a lot of things are about the security. We're actually building our marketplace on the Bitcoin blockchain, which still has some ease of use capabilities, but especially in the art world, that's kind of like the art that we're doing, trying to be secure and decentralized in a way, and do that one thing. But remains to be seen. I think multi-chain is definitely the pathway right now, and to welcome all. But really, like, it's such an early time in this industry, and it moves so fast. So, narratives change. There's a new narrative every month, it seems. So over the 12 months, it seems like probably a decade in this space. What new narratives do you see pop? Maybe the next 12 to 24 months, if you want to think a little bit more long term. Some new use cases, whether for your marketplace or just NFTs in general, where are you heading?
For us, we're going to be adding AI. You're very familiar.
Yeah, I got somebody for that.
We're doing more of the machine learning side to make sure that there is no fraudulent activity or infringing upon copyrights on audio chain. So we're really bullish on AI as well, 24 months.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're seeing kind of a quiet race for enterprise adoption. They're just different use cases that's being built, whether it's around commerce, royalty, but I think the difference is NFT is no longer a separate project to market the brand, but it's more like, how a lot of brands are thinking of how does this drive beer sales, or how does this increase actual purchases of something, right? So that's pretty exciting.
I see a big growth coming in the real estate space and the timeshares with properties. I mean, being able to use NFTs to utilize timeshares and how you're getting those timeshares, or reselling or transferring those timeshares. Real estate is a big thing that I see a use case. Smart contracts, NFTs, the automotive industry. Boats, ATVs, just anything that is you're able to take rental cars and things like that. Just all these different use cases are out there, and I think there's going to be more and more going to continue to grow and build over the next, probably the next decade.
I feel like there's going to be a huge merge in blockchain and gaming, especially with the use of AI now, because one of the reasons you can't necessarily pull one asset on a blockchain from a video game and move it to another one because it's not cohesive across the board. But as we start innovating with this AI technology, and we can learn how to decrease that, the instability, the friction between them, thank you. Where we decrease the friction between them, you're gonna start having, here we go with that shift again. You're gonna take the central power away from the big gaming companies and put it in the hands of the users. So now, I think my son spent like $200 on a game, and then they suspended his thing like a week later. And I was like, oh, well, there goes $200. Like, I hope you enjoyed that birthday money. And now you're not gonna have those cases anymore, because the software will be available for the game, but the assets will belong to the end user, and that's just gonna create an even bigger economy in gaming.
Sense. Really NFTs, maybe that word is going away in the next 12 months or 24 months, and more about using the technology in a different business use case. I think we started with the art and celebrities wanting to attach with the name NFTs, which was great for our industry, but in the future, you'll be using an NFT and you won't even know it, but you'll get all the advantages. So that seems like the end of our panel, and thank you guys all for listening, and thank you to all of our panelists. Please check them all out.
Thank you, everybody.
All right. Thank you to panel. All right.